You won't believe what happened when Tiana, a hard-working waitress at a popular restaurant in the city, ended up serving none other than Cristiano Ronaldo. She was no stranger to high-profile guests. She'd been working in the restaurant game long enough to handle anything, from regulars to celebs. People loved her because she made them feel like family. She was always on top of everything, always with a smile and the perfect order, no matter how busy things got. But this night, this was different. As the restaurant buzzed with the usual mix of chatter and clinking glasses, she spotted him, the man himself. Cristiano Ronaldo, in town for a charity event, walked right in. Tiana's heart did a little flip, but she quickly shook it off. No big deal, right? Just another customer. But as she walked over to take his order, little did she know, this would turn into a night she'd never forget. What started as a normal evening would spiral into something way crazier than she ever expected. And trust me, you're going to want to hear what happened next. As the night rolled on, the restaurant started to buzz even more. A few of Ronaldo's teammates and other players rolled in, probably hearing he was here. The energy around the table shifted as they all started chatting. At first, it was all laughs and good vibes, but then the mood took a turn. One guy, clearly still salty, brought up that penalty Ronaldo had missed in the last big game. "Man, how could you miss that? You cost us the match," he said, loud enough for a few nearby tables to hear. Another player chimed in, doubling down. "Yeah, that was embarrassing. You're supposed to be the best, right?" Their words hit like jabs, and even though Ronaldo kept his cool, you could see the tension creeping into his jawline. The dude was trying to keep it together, but the heat was real. Tiana, watching all this unfold from a few feet away, felt her heart sink. She couldn't just stand there and watch one of the greatest players of all time get dragged like that. So, taking a deep breath, she stepped in. "All right, guys, chill," she said, with a nervous laugh, placing fresh drinks on the table. "Even legends have their off days. You think Michael Jordan never missed a shot? Come on." The players fell silent, glancing at each other. Ronaldo looked up at her, a flicker of gratitude in his eyes. Tiana smiled, trying to keep the vibe light. "Besides," she added with a wink, "I'd like to see you handle that kind of pressure." The room felt less heavy after that. Tiana had no idea if her little speech would stick, but for the moment, she'd done her part. Tiana's comment might have cooled things down for a second, but not everyone at the table was thrilled. One of the players, clearly not in the mood for a pep talk from a waitress, scoffed. "Who asked you to chime in? Just do your job," he snapped, rolling his eyes. A couple of others murmured in agreement, and suddenly, the vibe got awkward. Fast. Tiana felt her stomach drop. She hadn't meant to overstep, but seeing Ronaldo take all that heat just didn't sit right with her. "I was just trying to help," she said, her voice quieter now, but the damage was done. The table wasn't having it, and the tension spread through the room like wildfire. Guests were starting to notice, and whispers rippled across nearby tables. The manager, catching wind of the growing scene, hurried over. Tiana hoped he'd have her back, but the look on his face said otherwise. Pulling her aside, he hissed, "What were you thinking? You're here to serve, not get involved in arguments with customers." She tried to explain, but he wasn't hearing it. "You've caused enough of a scene. This is your last shift." Tiana's heart sank. Fired? Just like that? All for sticking up for someone? It felt unreal. She glanced back at Ronaldo's table, where the argument was still simmering, and for the first time that night, she felt completely helpless. After she got home that night, Tiana was sprawled out on her bed, staring at the ceiling, trying not to let the tears fall. The last 24 hours felt like some kind of sick joke. 1 minute, she was stepping in to calm things down at Ronaldo's table, thinking she was doing the right thing. The next, she was being pulled aside by her manager, fired on the spot for causing a disruption. Seriously? For what? Supporting a customer. And not just any customer, Cristiano freaking Ronaldo. She couldn't wrap her head around it. Ronaldo didn't complain. Heck, he even smiled at her when she tried to smooth things over. But here she was, jobless and spiraling, stuck between wanting to scream into her pillow and eating an entire tub of ice cream. Her phone sat next to her, silent as ever. No calls, no messages, just her and the deafening sound of rejection. The next morning didn't feel much better. She dragged herself out of bed, made some half-hearted coffee, and started scrolling through job listings. Every now and then, the thought crept in. Did Ronaldo even know I got fired? Would he care? She shook her head, laughing bitterly to herself. Nah, guys like him have bigger fish to fry. She'd just about given up on her job hunt when her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost ignored it. Probably another scam trying to sell her a fake car warranty, but something made her pick up. Hello, she answered, her voice heavy with zero expectations. Tiana, came a deep, smooth voice on the other end. This is Marcus Valera. I'm a business associate of Cristiano Ronaldo. Tiana froze. I'm sorry, you're who? Marcus Valera, he repeated, like it wasn't the most insane thing she'd ever heard. Cristiano told me what happened at the restaurant and asked me to reach out. Her jaw practically hit the floor. Wait, Ronaldo knows about me getting fired? Of course, Marcus said, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. He's not happy about it, by the way. He feels terrible that your kindness got you into trouble. Tiana sat up, her heart racing. I don't even know what to say. There's more, Marcus continued, his voice cool but warm. Cristiano was impressed by how you handled things. Not many people would step in like you did. He thinks someone with your courage deserves a better opportunity. He'd like to meet with you to discuss a potential job. Wait, what? She blurted, gripping her phone like it might disappear. Cristiano Ronaldo wants to offer me a job? That's right, Marcus said, chuckling. He doesn't do this often, so take it as a big compliment. Are you free to meet tomorrow? Yes, of course, she stammered, feeling like she was living in a fever dream. Great, Marcus said. I'll send you the details. Oh, and Tiana, Cristiano made it very clear. Don't let this whole situation get you down. He respects what you did. The call ended, and Tiana just sat there, stunned. 1 minute, she was drowning in self-pity. The next, she was getting a lifeline from Cristiano Ronaldo. She laughed out loud, her emotions ping-ponging between disbelief and pure excitement. Whatever this job offer was, it felt like the universe was finally cutting her a break. And boy, did she need it. Tiana barely slept that night, her mind racing with possibilities. What kind of job could Ronaldo have in mind? Did he really think she was good enough for something bigger? By the time morning rolled around, she was running on pure adrenaline and half a cup of coffee. The meeting spot was swanky, one of those 5-star hotels where the lobby smelled like expensive candles and everyone looked like they just stepped out of a magazine. Tiana nervously smoothed out her dress, clutching her bag like it might float away. Marcus Valera greeted her with a firm handshake and a friendly smile, but his words, oh, they were the game changer. Cristiano wanted me to let you know, Marcus began, that he's not just grateful for how you handled things. He's impressed. Your professionalism and kindness really stood out to him, so he's personally recommended you for a position at a new restaurant he's backing. Tiana's jaw dropped. Wait, what? Marcus chuckled, clearly enjoying her reaction. It's a luxury spot, opening in a few weeks. High-end clientele, great pay, and a team that matches your skill level. Christiano said you'd be perfect for it. Perfect for it? Me? She said, her voice cracking as she tried to process. This is insane. Oh, and there's more, Marcus added casually, like he wasn't about to blow her mind. There's a signing bonus. A pretty generous one, actually. And he's arranging a meeting for you with his team to talk about your career path. He thinks you have the potential for even bigger things down the road. Tiana had to sit down. This is wild. I don't even know how to thank him, or you, or anyone. Marcus smiled. Just do what you do best. Work hard, be yourself, and keep that fire you showed at the restaurant. That's all he wants. The next few days were a whirlwind. Tiana was introduced to the restaurant's executive team, toured the sleek new space with its state-of-the-art kitchen, and signed a contract that made her eyes pop. She couldn't believe the numbers on that paper. She'd gone from barely making ends meet to financial stability in what felt like the blink of an eye. And that bonus, let's just say her savings account had never looked so healthy. But what stood out most wasn't the money or the fancy restaurant. It was the sense that someone as iconic as Ronaldo had seen her, really seen her, and decided she was worth investing in. That kind of validation? Priceless. When she finally got a moment to herself, Tiana couldn't help but think back to the night everything had gone sideways. The harsh words from her manager, the humiliation of being let go. All of it felt like a bad dream now. Because here she was, standing on the brink of something extraordinary, with a future brighter than she'd ever dared to imagine. And as for Ronaldo, she'd be meeting him again soon. Not as a waitress, but as someone who had earned her place at the table. As the weeks went by, Tiana settled into her new role at the luxury restaurant. And let me tell you, she was absolutely killing it. Gone were the days of working crazy shifts in a cramped, chaotic restaurant. Now, she was overseeing a polished team, handling VIP guests like she'd been born to do it. The kitchen ran like a well-oiled machine, and her management skills were on full display. She was promoted to head of floor operations just a month in. Honestly, Tiana was living proof that when life throws you a curveball, sometimes it's actually setting you up for a home run. Her days were no longer filled with stress and second-guessing. Instead, she had a newfound confidence, one that was clear to everyone who walked through the restaurant's doors. She moved through the dining area with ease, greeting guests like she was the queen of the joint. It wasn't just the fancy silverware or the five-star ambiance, it was her presence, her energy, that made the place feel like home for the clientele. The regulars, the ones who were used to the high-end scene, started asking for her by name. And it wasn't just about service, it was about how she made people feel seen, heard, and valued. As Tiana sat in the restaurant that evening, surrounded by the hum of satisfied customers, she realized that this wasn't just about a job. It was about what she had learned through all the challenges. She had proven that setbacks could be setups for success. And now, her future? Well, it was limitless. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. If there's one thing Tiana had learned, it was to never stop working hard, no matter how high she climbed. She still had a lot to prove to herself and the world, but she was ready. Because, as we all know, the road to success isn't paved with smooth stones. It's built from the lessons learned during those unexpected bumps in the road. So, here's the thing. Life can be a roller coaster. Sometimes you're riding high, and other times it feels like you're crashing down. But if there's one thing you can count on, it's that there's always a way to turn things around. Whether it's finding a new opportunity, making connections, or just believing in your ability to bounce back, the right moment is always just around the corner. The end. If you like this video, then make sure to click on the pop-up on screen to listen to an even better story than this one. And don't forget to click on the like button. And I will catch you on the other side. Peace.